Good morning, everyone. I just want to welcome our invited guests, fellow legislators, and concerned members of the public who took their time to join us here today. I do think it's appropriate that I let everyone know that I do take a position already, and that is that I believe the executive orders to be simply an overreach of government. And second, and even possibly more importantly, an overreach by the governor. Simply put, our state constitution provides authority for the executive branch to implement our laws and not to make them. That's the responsibility of the legislative branch of government. And in my mind, these executive orders blur those lines that should absolutely be kept clear and defined. But I will also agree with Senator Markley that I want to hear from both sides on this issue, and I want to make sure that we carry on this hearing in as even-handed a nature as possible. This is CATHY LUDLUM as our first speaker.
I have 23 years of experience as an employer of personal assistants. There are many reasons why I think the Quality Home Care Workforce Council and the union that will follow will be harmful both to PCAs and to their employers with disabilities. At a time when Connecticut is raising taxes, consolidating agencies, and cutting programs, how can anyone even suggest that unionization in and of itself will increase the wages of personal assistants? No executive order so deeply affecting the lives of people with disabilities, senior citizens, and personal assistants should ever have been undertaken without including input from these constituencies from the start.
Yeah, personal nature of the relationship between employers and PCAs. It's something that I've heard over and over again anytime I've spoken to anyone in that realm. They constantly say that that's the big issue. It's that this is a personal relationship, and for the employer to have the choice of who they hire and the PCA to have the choice of who they work for, and to develop a relationship that benefits them both is key. And to involve the government and some type of overseeing force of bureaucracy into that decision-making process, I find very troubling.
I'm Michelle Tyler. I've been a personal care attendant on and off for 9 years. Over the last year, I've spoken to many employers and PCAs about the proposals for unionization of PCAs. I have yet to find any who are in favor of these proposals. When I read an article stating that stakeholders had been consulted in creating Executive Order 10, I inquired as to how many PCAs and employers were involved, and I was told none. How can an executive order about PCAs not include PCAs as relevant stakeholders?
Regarding the governor's remarks when he first issued the executive orders, which is that personal care attendants and he also mentions family child care providers are oftentimes the hardest working and lowest paid workers in our job force. I just think that's a pretty bold statement, lowest paid in our entire job force.
It's shenanigans, actually, because it's only a couple dollars difference from what I make as a certified nursing assistant. So, I think that's not right for what he said.
Do you feel that your opinion on the subject is similar throughout your colleagues that work in the same field?
Yes, pretty much. Okay.
NFIB opposes Executive Orders 9 and 10, basically because as an organization and our members feel that they'll harm not only the existing small businesses in Connecticut, but also discourage entrepreneurship and relocation of these types of businesses to the state in the future. Regarding Executive Order number 9, it basically paves the way for owners of home-based child care businesses to be subject to labor agreements which are negotiated between a union and the government agency, not the actual employer. Basically, these are small business owners who will in effect become, by executive edict, government employees for union activity purposes. I think what's most alarming from NFIB's perspective is that it's the small businesses and private homes, with the case of Executive Order number 9, that are the ones that are being targeted here.
Obviously, there are a lot of issues surrounding Executive Orders 9 and 10, but the impact on small businesses is not one that should be ignored, which is why I'm very, very happy you were here to elaborate on that, especially your comments regarding precedent. This is something I said throughout the entire session. It's not just the impact that the legislature and the policy making has on individual businesses as far as taxes and things like paid sick leave, which we passed this last session. It's more not those things individually, but collectively, and the message that we send that we can change the environment that businesses need to operate in almost at will and instantaneously. And for businesses who are trying to plan their futures, it becomes very, very difficult.